content. It's kind of like eyes, I guess. If you stare at a certain color long enough, what's his color? I think it's rods, right?
The money maker here, I think. The other thing is too, like these mobs are pretty easy. As you can see on my druid, I'm destroying these mobs at 35. Let me see what my rings look like. Agi int, strength agi, agi stam, strength agi. My gear is actually not terrible. It's pretty good. Agi stam, monkey shoulders. What else do we have? Agi stam, strength agi stam. Yeah, I mean, I'd say my gear's pretty decent actually for this level range. But 35 druids just kind of chewing through this area right now. We got another gray item. How many gray items is that? 3? Keen axe, hefty war axe, and large war club. So we got a gold and gray item so far. And a lot of times I don't think that I'm grinding this for gold necessarily. The cloth drops are nice. Like I said, maybe you get that Namar drop. This might be the #1 reason why you choose to grind over here. There is 1 or 2 quests for both Horde and Alliance here. And so maybe while you're questing in this area, maybe you just decide to grind here for an hour. We haven't got any type of health potions from these guys yet. We did get 2 mana pots so far. I'm getting a little bit of cloth. I don't know if you ever go out of your way to grind cloth for your own first aid or do other cloth trades. Cloth is pretty cheap to buy on the auction house if you're able to. Okay, we got a chest here as well. That's nice. That makes the farm a little bit better. This outside area is really good to farm. Like I said, even if 1 or 2 other people are here, which they probably will be, since this will be like a fairly contested area with questing. Maybe even the cave would be more interesting. I don't really want to mess with the shadow hunters. I don't really want to go inside. Let's see what's inside this chest. Two lesser mana pots and a bunch of useless food. We're getting like raw gold from these guys as well. Oh, did you guys see if there were any fishing pools? We can look over here and see if there's some fishing pools to go to. Yeah, I don't know if there's any fishing pools inside of here. I can try and think, what's the most dangerous thing? What's the most dangerous area on my questing route for my Feral Druid? So I'm actually doing something interesting here. I'm going to have like mob taggers, 1 to 5. Hopefully I'm going to have 2 or 3 mob taggers from levels 1 to 5. Once I get out of the starting zone, hopefully I have a hunter that's like level 5 or 6. That follows me from 5 to 10. And then I've got another hunter it's going to be leveling to 12. And he's going to meet up with me in Darkshore. And honestly, I think he'll be 12 about the same time that I am as a druid, even with some mob tag help. And so it's going to be pretty exciting, man. It makes druid level the fastest. The thing I love about being a druid is in my head at least, I compete with all the other druid players. And there's not that much competition. And so it's cool. I feel like I can be in the thick of things. Now if I was playing an AoE mage, pushing a speed level of warrior, literally any other class but druid, You got some big names that you'd have to feel like you're in the same pool with. But the great thing about Druid is if I'm competing with other Druids and leveling speed on a fresh server, if you have a tag, Druid is so poor 1 to 20. If you have a little bit of assistance, a little bit of help, you're going to cruise past everybody else. So I'm going to have this Hunter level to 12 and meet up with me in Darkshore. And the scariest time, I think for most classes, the average level death is like level 14. Because 1 to 20, 10 to 20, even for most classes, struggle the most. They don't have any abilities. The way the game scales at that point, like the mobs hit pretty hard, starting, just outside of the starting zone. And so having a Hunter carry, not only is it going to speed up that 12 to 18 process while I'm in Darkshore, but it's going to keep me super safe. Level range, it's normally super dangerous. So we're going to get a carry to 18 and a half. Then we end up doing that Deadmines run. We hit 20. And then I think while I'm in Deadmines, that Hunter's going to try and hit 14 and then finish Red Ridge with me. Red Ridge, then back to Darkshore, do Southern Darkshore. So once this is all said and done, I'm hoping by the time I'm like 20... Let me think. After I do Red Ridge and Darkshore, after the Deadmines run, I'll probably be 22. And I think by the time I'm 22, I don't know that there's going to be another Druid that's level 20 at that point, which is kind of sick to think that you got like a 2-level lead. And then once you're 22 and you're into Ashenvale and you have cat form and you're moving at 30% movement speed, I'm in cat, like it obviously compounds on top of itself, right? And even then, I'm still going to be behind like some of the fastest hunters, some of the fastest speedrunners. There'll probably be a couple layers out there. But I think I'm actually going to run into a little bit of competition because I'll be leveling so fast for a Druid with a little bit of assistance. It's cool, though. I'm going to be in this leveling pack that I've never been a part of. I never get carried 1 to 20. I never get any type of help. And so I'm curious to see like the caliber of players. I think Ompi and Vopka are raid lead, guild lead for Frontier for this fresh hardcore server. They're doing a duo with Warrior and Rogue. And oh my gosh, I was in Duskwood, I think at 25? Maybe it was 28. They came over. They were literally one-shotting things. They were one-shotting things as duo as they ran by a literal wrecking ball. And so it's kind of cool. I think with this bit of help, I'm going to be able to keep up with them. You know, it's the only reason I'm able to do Deadmines at 18.5 with that duo is because I'm getting carried 1 to 18. Like, Druid is so rough. So you got to take that into account too. Not only is my Druid getting to 18.5 faster than all the other Druids with a little bit of a carry, then I do a Deadmines run early on. And we were looking at it too. Do I have it on this guy? Dude, the Deadmines reward is like a 11 agi 5-stand chess piece, and I didn't replace it till like level 50. It was unreal, dude. If this guy had XQ, I think it was dead. It was unreal. So the chess piece is insane. You got to realize too, other Druids aren't going to be able to do a Deadmines run that fast. They're not going to get in a Deadmines group that early. Like I said, I'm not questing, spamming Wrath in the open world. Now all of a sudden I've got Catform a little bit faster, which is huge. So, I mean, just a little bit of help goes a long way. And it's probably similar to life, man. Like, if you get a tiny bit of a head start, it just snowballs on top of itself, right? Like being married into money. Or, sorry, born into money or something. Yeah, even married into money. It's stupid, man, how much wealth you could attain in the short amount of time that you spend here on this earth, man. It's unfair, it really is. And that's how it feels to get boosted. It's really unfair. But because it's unfair, all things considered, it's going to be really fun to play and really fun to watch, I think. And so, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this fresh. It should be a good time. So we're trying to kill Ragnaros in under 7 days. I think I'm going to be able to hit 60 in less than 4 days played. I need to go through the route again. I almost want to do like another speed level. I think I'm going to practice whenever the PTR comes out, I'll do like a 1 to 60 run. I don't think that they're gonna let you level to 60. Even if they did, it wouldn't be bad for practice sake. But I don't think that I'm gonna have the chance to level to 60. We'll see. I think it's gonna be level capped, but you never know. Who really knows? I like how these mobs have net. And if you were to pull like an axe thrower, the axe thrower will run out of range. And so I always love whenever mobs' abilities complement each other. Alright, 22 minutes in. What do we start out with? 36 gold, 40. We've almost got a gold and raw silver. We still only have 3 gray items. These mobs aren't hard to kill at all. Like I said, at 35, this is really cozy. I might be over-leveled for whenever you quest here. I think normally, like the RXP route, will sit you here at like 33, 34. 35 is really cozy right now. Except whenever you're fighting at level 35 with a 35, right? But luckily, I think there's only one mob, the headhunter, that is in the level range to hit level 35 anyways. Yeah, we were talking about the longevity of this hardcore server coming out. And how maybe some of the tourists are going to show up and then they're not going to be here. Everybody thinks hardcore is going to die. It's been really exciting to see, man, all the big streamers come in and bring their entire communities to play hardcore with them. But a lot of my friends, or maybe a lot of the doubters, are just, you know, hardcore's a fad, it's going to pass. I'm really curious to see how it rolls out. I'm really curious to see how long some of these big guys stick around. I'm interested to see how soon it is that they come back once they stop. I think there's going to be another Vanilla Fresh. Maybe at the beginning of 2024? They're going to do some type of Vanilla or Psalm 2. I know they said they don't want to call it Season of Mastery, but it'll be some type of Vanilla server. And I definitely will play it. I'll 100% be playing like a new Classic Fresh for sure. But I'm curious how often people revisit hardcore. And people say it's going to die, it's going to be a fad, it's going to be dead. Dude, for me personally, I'm going to be here no matter what. And I'm excited to see how far I take this. Because in the past, I played Classic. You know what's funny? I quit the first week of AQ to play hardcore. And then, you know, hardcore got old after a while. You got to take a break. TBC comes out. We play TBC for a couple months. And then we come back to hardcore. And then we need a break from hardcore. Oh, Wrath comes out. We play Wrath for a couple months. And then we come back to hardcore. And so there's always been one thing that I came back to. And yes, I did have to take breaks, but I've never came back to TBC. I never came back to Wrath. I never came back to Classic whenever I quit the first week of AQ. I didn't even do Nax because I was having so much fun with hardcore. And so I look at all this stuff, and everybody says it's a fad. I really think I'm going to be here, dude. I think that I'm going to play these hardcore servers for a long time. I think this is like my most ideal vanilla experience. Is it perfect? No. Is it painful and punishing? Yes, yeah. It's not the most ideal, but the thing is, I don't think you're ever going to get a perfect vanilla WoW. But it's the closest thing. That's one thing that I've noticed since we started playing, and I think it's why I continue to play hardcore, and I think it's why so many new players have such a good time with it. It's the closest thing to maybe what I remember or what my expectation was whenever Classic was re-released in 2019. And I think because of that, I'm going to continue to play hardcore for a long time. This is my ideal vanilla universe, the way I interact with the game. But you know what's crazy? That's with solo self-found rules, right? That's with no trading, no grouping, no auction house, mailbox. Now all of a sudden, if they do a real hardcore server, which there's a lot of speculation that they're not going to have any rules because, one, it's too hard to regulate. It's a bit of work for Blizzard, and I just don't know if they're going to do it or not. So it's crazy. Am I still going to enjoy this game? with the regular trading auction house. Probably some type of boosting system in the game. I don't know, man. That'll be interesting to see. I gotta say, it's gonna be a fresh take. If I had to play Solo Self-Found for another 3 years, 3.5 years at this point, I don't think I would last this long. I think I would actually move on from it a little bit sooner rather than later. I think I'll revisit Solo Self-Found eventually if there's no SSF rules on the real server. But I gotta say, man, I'm really excited about playing with no rules. I hope they don't have very many rules. Okay, so we got 3 healing potions and a greater healing pot. It's actually huge, and some heavy stone in here. Not that the heavy stone's like super exciting, but maybe I can get some gold from it if I were to throw this on the auction house. This is the first time that the picking up chests has felt really good. I've done some grinding sessions beforehand, but I've never gotten this greater healing potion. So even this is a level 21 pot, and what, I'm level 35, and we still got 3 of the other healing potions, which require level 12. I wish that the potions that they dropped at this level range was a little bit higher. It seems like it should be. Oh, there we go. We got another greater healing pot, back to back. That's huge, actually. So that's a big benefit of grinding here, is just picking up potions. If you don't have fishing, or... I wonder how expensive healing pots are going to be on the auction house. Are people actually going to farm? Like, make a killing with healing pots? Maybe they will. Everybody's going to have healing pots. We were talking to... there's an opportunity for you to walk around in some of these starting zones. Or any zone, for that matter. And you can slash yell. You know, whatever your shtick is. I want to sell 4 greater healing pots. Or maybe you have multiple ranks of healing potions. And everybody jumps to, right? They always be like, oh yeah, dude, I don't have any healing pots right now. I need healing pots. I'm not near an auction house or a mailbox. I'm questing over here. So you show up, you know, with your trench coat, and you're like, yeah, brother, I got those healing pots for you. And you bust open the trench coat, and hey, man, I see it's your melee. I've got this elixir of agility. Also got superior defense, since you're taking all these headshots. I've got elixir of fortitude. Maybe I've got some scrolls. Oh, by the way, I have this green weapon laying around. I see it's an upgrade for you, you know. And so it's kind of cool. I think there's an opportunity for you to be your own Antonio Preri, to walk around in some of these zones and sell your wares. And so, yeah, man, I'm excited to maybe see some people do that on the real servers. But you're playing in a universe where it actually matters, right? I mean, if you die in the open world at Witherbark Village at level 35, damn, well, you lost 48 hours played. Two days played, maybe. There we go, we got a Jade. And so all of a sudden, yeah, you might buy some potions. You might buy some scrolls and maybe a weapon upgrade from some random guy. So, but it all starts with the health pots. It all starts with, oh yeah, dude, I need a health pot. And then you just score on them big time. Oh, I wonder, I was gonna say we could do this farm, Gortesk farm, but that's for the AoE mages. You're never gonna be able to farm that area unless you're a mage. I swear there's no use. We got another lesser mana potion. Dude, we got all kinds of, I think I got a stack of lesser mana pots already. Maybe silk cloth. We already got 50 silk cloth, that's pretty good. So let's imagine I've got a Feral Druid that I'm going to be leveling up fresh. What are my goals? Well, what do I want to achieve? I gotta say, because my Druid, you can't normally see his gear, I'm always a cat or bear form. A certain aesthetic or like a weapon doesn't really, I'm not really looking forward to getting certain items out of raids. If I was a hunter, I'd be excited about Rockdalar or Benediction for a priest. You know, those are achievable badass items that you can get at some point. But as a druid, what are my goals at 60? One thing that I've always the role that I've always enjoyed is kind of like being an enabler, like allowing people to enjoy and play the game. I guess you can be an enabler in a lot of ways. When I was growing up, I was kind of the instigator in my friend group. I don't know if that's the same as enabling, but I do. I like people. The idea with tanking is that you allow people to play the game. And whenever you join somebody's group or somebody plays with you, you kind of want to leave an impression on them. So tanking isn't always the sexiest role. You know what I mean? If you're a tank, yeah, you're just another tank. Oh, and you're a bear? Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'd rather have a warrior, right? That's what people say all the time. But if you can leave a good impression on people, you're not able to pump. Maybe I could be a really good DPS. And people, most of the time, all the good DPS players, they end up getting killed. They're not able to pump as hard as they can. They always pull threat. So it doesn't even matter if you're the big damage dealer. But if you're a really good tank and you allow warriors to just go ham in 5-mans, or even a raid for that matter, like a lot of times, what's the number one problem that you always have with your tank? They can't hold threat. The DPS pull aggro and they die. Obviously in hardcore that's a different story, but yeah, the impression I want to leave with people as a tank is to allow them to play the game. Whether we're doing 10-man Ubers runs, we're doing a 40-man MC, maybe we're doing ZG. I want people to be able to pump. And I think early on there's going to be, yeah, I got Gordon Ramsay, there's a Feral Druid that puts out insane threat, and warriors just can't keep up with the amount of threat that a Feral Druid needs with Mandrill Crowd Pummeler at the beginning of a game. But another Feral Druid can, bear form just by popping his own Mandrill Crowd Pummeler and climbing the threat table. So it'd be really fun to have Gordon in my group and have him excited, that he can maybe get some 100 parses on a hardcore server because his tank is so good, So that's really my goal whenever it comes to end game and what I want to achieve and playing in a group. Because at the end of the day, with hardcore, a lot of it is focused on you. It's just a solo experience. And I think sometimes I forget or I lose sight on the fact that we are playing an MMO. And there is another aspect to playing the game. And I think the biggest one for me is reputation. I care about my reputation on the server. I care about the interactions I have with other players. And the great thing is the tank, or maybe a healer even, depending on how you play, benefits everybody in the group. If you're a terrible tank, well, you may not be known for very long anyways. You might just die off early. But I think people are going to get good or bad reputations, no matter what role they are in these dungeons. But yeah, so I don't want to achieve a certain amount of gear. I don't even really care about like a hand of sulfurous on a boom spec on my main druid, right? I just want a tank, and then I want that in-game experience to enable my alts. I want that in-game experience to allow me to gold farm, level other alts, maybe boost my other alts if I could in dungeons, play the auction house a bit. Set up some alt characters for GDKPs and stuff. I know that's a hot topic and a buzzword nobody likes. Everybody thinks it's the devil. But I think it'd be interesting to do GDKPs on a One Life server. No one thinks it's going to be possible. But people are saying that early on, and it's like, I feel like it's a cop-out. Like, oh, imagine doing GDKPs on a hardcore server. They're going to happen, no matter what. So let's not pretend and act like they're not going to be there. If they're going to be there, regardless, then I kind of want to be involved with it as well. If it's going to be a thing, let's go in full steam ahead. And I mean, okay, I didn't see this headhunter. I think she executes, right? Yeah, this could be scary. If I'm playing any other class, I swear, like even like Rogue can handle this pretty easily. Maybe they just disengage, or they might even be able to kill this headhunter without taking any more damage. I feel like I'd have to health pot, or warrior, I'd be in trouble. Got net and everything else. The druid is so cozy. Druid is the best melee class, I swear. I swear, man. But I do think that being involved in those GDKPs, right? I'm streaming and everything. I think it's gonna be some of the most interesting stuff. It'll be like bleeding edge content. Unfortunately, GKPs are like the most exciting stream content sometimes. Like whenever it comes to raid logging and showing up to MC, do I really want to do Molten Core a couple times a week on alts and just kill the boss and get the gear? People like the prize pools. People like... I think they like the randomness of the groups. A lot of times GKPs aren't very random. There's maybe buyers, pure buyers. Most people are carries, or it's a pretty solidified friend group. But I think people will be interested to see GKPs go on just because there's the potential for people to wipe. There's some potential for someone to come join in grief. And so I almost feel like a slave to the system. It's just, I think it's going to be some of the best 60 content, man. I think it's going to be best 8-game content. I don't really care about morals or ethics or what's right for the server. People say all the time, Blizzard's going to ruin the hardcore server. They're going to mess it up somehow. They're not going to do the right rule set. And I always say that the player base is going to ruin it. The player base is going to ruin the server for you. Don't blame it on Blizzard. It's going to be you and me that ruin the server. But no matter how pure I try to keep the gameplay experience, because I want it to be a better server experience for everybody, somebody else is just going to end up ruining it. And so I think that we just need to push the limits, man. I think with One Life, I don't really want to see a crazy rule set, and I want to see how well One Life Death Equals Delete affects gold farming, affects mage boosting, affects the GDKP system, affects inflation, affects raid progression from raids that are top of the server. What if the main raid wipes and they lose, you know, 3/4 of their raid that night? And maybe they have some alts, but all of a sudden a raid that was top of the server in front, they get an entire server reset. And so I want to see how One Life affects all these things. But I'm not worried about playing the game ethically or keeping the game's best interest in mind. I mean, at the end of the day, it's MMO. I think you should play it the way that you want to. But it is kind of weird because I am a streamer. Sometimes you should think about those things. Maybe you feel like you influence the game. And streamers definitely do influence the game, depending on how many people you have that watch and follow you. Your actions in game 100% can affect how people experience it. And I think that goes to show just with how hardcore was made in the first place, with Solo So Found. And Cargos was really the only community member that had multiple hundreds of people watching him, up to 1,000 people on a lot of streams. And you really shaped a community. And I think that's the power you have as an influencer. But like I said, regardless, I don't think it's up to me to save the player base. I don't think it's up to me to play the game morally or ethically, or you should just play the game however you want. I hear the argument all the time with griefing, right? Well, Blizzard shouldn't allow griefing in the game. Griefing should be okay because it's how it works in the game. If Blizzard doesn't like it, they should fix it. They shouldn't ban the griefers, and I actually agree with that a lot. They should fix it to some degree. I don't even think they should ban for griefing. I think it's a missed opportunity for the server to take care of itself. And we saw that with the hardcore community. There was this HC Defense group of players that did take care of the community. They took care of their own players, their own levelers. And I think whenever God gets involved, Blizzard gets involved and starts banning people for petty griefing, I think there's a difference between griefing and maybe harassing someone that is live streaming and you're just constantly hovering over them and tagging all their mobs while they're leveling and just not letting them play the game. I think you take action on that, but just griefing in general, you can't monitor it. You can't police it, because as soon as you police one, you're going to have to police them all, and Blizzard's just not going to do that, so. Regardless, I'm really looking forward to this One Life experience. I think it's going to be like no other. It's going to be something that we've never played before. And Road to Rag was a community event that we put together. It was the first time hardcore ever played on a fresh server to begin with, right? A lot of us are fresh handies that started and played hardcore to begin with. We always wanted to play on a fresh server, not even for the prospect of raiding or doing in-game content, but everybody just wanted to start over. Oh wow, look at that. Archer's right there. We got 48 silver there, got a couple heavy leather, a gold bar, silver ore. We didn't get any health pots, but that seemed like a really big chest. That was nice. That was a good chest. But Road to Rag was the first time the hardcore community ever got to experience a fresh server, a new start. And we'd never done 60 content before then, so we did 60 content there too. Kind of lost my train of thought on where we were going with this. Oh yeah, so we've kind of done the whole fresh thing and like in-game experience, but I even think this experience is going to be completely different than Road to Rag. If it's legitimized, there's 20, 30, 40 times more people playing. If it's an official server, legit hosted by Blizzard whenever you die. You know, it's no Soul of Iron buff anymore. There's no people griefing on our server to intentionally disrupt gameplay. And it's cool to disrupt gameplay if you have one life as well, but it's lame whenever you have multiple lives, right? And people playing in this community game mode, they're like, oh, well, you got me. You killed my character. You died, 50, 60 times up to this point, but you killed me this one time. Yeah, I'm going to go and delete. Like, it's super cringe. It's kind of a weird experience. So I think it's going to make even the griefing more exciting, man. Like, we're on a level playing field with everybody, which is cool. Oh, you know what? I didn't show my XP bar this whole time. It's actually really unfortunate. I can't remember what we started at. Not that it really matters. So 35. Guy had rested from like right here. So maybe... Yeah, this might be like 3 hours of level. What does it say? I'm getting 18,000. Yeah, like 3.5 hours per level. If you were to just grind here. It's not amazing, but I mean, whenever you're just grinding mobs for an hour, what do you expect? Nice, another large war club. I don't think this is the best spot to farm. Other than Namar. It's not a terrible spot to farm. On a 35 Feral Druid, the nice thing about this is there's no downtime. There's no searching for mobs. I'm not having to sit and drink at all. The mobs aren't that difficult to kill. Yeah, man, this is cozy. This is a cozy farm spot. More grays. That one's only worth 10 silver. The gray weapons are always the best. They vendor for so much. We got quite a few gray weapons though. Yeah, the gray armor is always the worst. Well, what do you guys think in the comment section? Would you grind this spot? I really think only for the Namar rare is why it's worth it. Like, if you're spending an evening, if you got, 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. to grind for some reason before work, you're not doing anything else, maybe you get your rare scanner up. This wouldn't be a bad spot for farm, man. Alright, we got double axe thrower on us. We'll try and get some heals in. I think it's less damage dealt to me if I let this guy just throw. Maybe not. I'm dodging like crazy. Not that it really matters. A lot of times, though, whenever mobs have like a shadow bolt ability or even like a ranged ability, we'll see a lot of archer NPCs. They attack really slow. It's actually better to keep them at range. They do less damage overall than if they're meleeing you. Alright, down to the last 15 minutes. This is good. Got plenty of inventory space for these 1 hour grind sessions too. I gotta say, man, Blizzard's really been killing me with the PTR recently. Everybody kind of assumed it would be out already, and now there's like no hope for this thing coming out. Trial of the Grand Crusader releases on Thursday, and no one thinks it's going to come out this week, so we'll see what ends up happening with it. I'm going to keep this guy ranged for a second. This is kind of scary. And please die. Alright, not even close. But yeah, they've really been killing me. It's like a huge buzzkill. Somehow Blizzard always misses the hype window whenever things are going well, or got this huge snowball effect with all these streamers playing hardcore, all the communities playing hardcore. Because I mean, at the end of the day, man, hardcore is not the most popular thing in the world. It's fun to play with One Life, and I think it's way more cool because of the community involved with it. But man, how does Blizzard always miss this massive hype window? I mean, the hype will come back, but yeah, I'm pretty deflated at the moment. The problem with them taking so long to release this was people they die on a character. It takes even me 4 weeks to level 1 to 60, Monday through Friday, 8-hour streams. Like, to level a new character, it takes about a month. And for anybody else that's normally working, it's probably the same time, right? It takes a month, 2 months to level a character to 60. So people have just like lost motivation, or they're just waiting. Look at that BKP Sparrow Small Bore. It's cool every once in a while. I find like these random green items I've never seen the name of. I was like seeing new items in game. But yeah, man, it's a huge investment to level another character, and so everybody's like waiting for the PTR to come out. No one's re-leveling. Bloodsail and Hydrax are kind of slowing down. I don't know. I mean, we don't even have like a official hardcore